What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JFK reporting again from Heat and 5 reviews and recaps, sponsored by HoopSpaces, where you can find on Twitter every Monday through Friday starting at 10 a.m. Listen, the Heat had a homestand and we went 3-1, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it right now for you. First game we're gonna get into is the Brooklyn Nets versus the Miami Heat. We went and took that L. It was 101 to 102. Very, very close game. Jimmy Butler had like about 26 points in it. He missed that last bucket against Royce O'Neal. A very good contested shot, but I can't even complain. I mean, Jimmy's just working on his clutch gene. KD did lead the game in the third quarter, which led Kyrie to finish off with 29 points, and Seth Curry had 14 points as well. Nick Claxton looks pretty good. I think he's a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year award right now. And I think Bam was in fourth at that time, but in the games a little bit later in the week, we'll talk about how Bam rises a little bit ahead of certain people to get into that top three talk. But then the last thing I want to talk about is Ben Simmons. We're going to have to understand that Ben Simmons is who he is. He had 4 points in the game. He looked very intimidated when he was trying to take his offensive shots. And it's no slander to him. He's been going through whatever he's going through. I think that the Brooklyn Nets fans should not be so heavy on Ben Simmons to returning to the form he used to be, dropping about 25 points, giving you 10 rebounds, 10 assists. This is when he was going against a facade of the going against ones, but now he's going against some fives, which I think is his normal position. So that is the game that will happen on Sunday. We're going to go and get into. We're going to go ahead and check out is the OKC Thunder against the Miami Heat. We went and got that W. It was 112 to 111. We did pull it out in the last second. Look, it was so close. With 2 minutes to go, we are down 5 points. It took a big Victor Oladipo 3-point and a Jimmy Butler and one, and an SGA missed shot at the end of the game for us to get that W. I mean, one of the most important things you got to point out is the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. We went 40 for 40 at the free throw line. Perfect that night, 100%. I think we were ranked in the top 5 in the free throws this year. Another thing we got to look at is Max Strus and Oladipo coming off the bench to give us support. Jamal Cain giving us a strong 12 points. But one of the main things that we got to point out is Dwayne Dedmon did get ejected from the game. He had an altercation with the coaches, threw a massager on the court. It was pretty bad, but, you know, they fixed the altercation. Water's under the bridge now. It's the Heat culture. It happens all the time. But I think this is just a reason for the Miami Heat to go ahead and trade Dedmon when that time comes around. Please, we need to go ahead and get somebody to come in and contain that 4 spot. And I think we'd be a lot more formidable. Even if we get another big, I wouldn't be, too mad about that. But it was a great game for Jimmy Butler, going, like I said, going for 40 for 40. Victor Oladipo had 19 points. So a nice W to go ahead and follow up that L that we had. So we're 1-1 at this time in our home stretch. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the next game. So the next 2 games I want to talk about was a back-to-back with the Milwaukee Bucks. The Heat pulled it off in the first game, 102 to 108, and then they pulled it off in the second game, 111 to 95. Now we have to understand that Milwaukee did not play with any Giannis or Chris Middleton in the game. Chris Middleton, I'm not sure what's happening with his injury. It looks like it may be a lot, long-term than we expected. Giannis, I think he's just out for a little bit, but what's happening right now with that Milwaukee squad is they're not looking like themselves. I mean, they don't have the 3-point shots to facilitate the scoring that they need. I mean, Brook Lopez looks pretty good. He's in the top of the Defensive Player of the Year awards. Bobby Portis is doing what he can. And Grayson Allen only played for one of those games along with Joe English. So they were really down in the first game. But in the second game, they did have some guys. But it still wasn't matched for what the Miami Heat brought to them. It was a nice sailing on the 2 games back-to-back, something that we needed to stay above 500 and climb in the playoffs. What we got to look at in that game is Gabe Vincent. Look, now I might be running the campaign for Gabe Vincent to start because we have been 7-1 since Larry has not been in the lineup. And Gabe Vincent dropped a career high of 28 points and then followed that up with 27 points. So it's looking really good for Gabe Vincent right now. Like I said, I am going for Victor Oladipo for 6th Man of the Year award. Maybe the Miami Heat can get a back-to-back award winners on that. He had 14 in the first game and 20 in the second game. So it's looking really good on his return. I'm just loving what he's providing off the bench. and bam, he went 24 and 20, maintaining his season average of 21 points and 10 rebounds. I'm hoping he gets that triple double. I think he's at 9.3 right now. He needs about 2 to 3 more games to be above 10 assists, so he can go ahead and average that triple double of the year. Last thing I want to talk about is Dwayne Dedmon did get a suspension, so we are seeing a lot more Orlando Robinson minutes. Excuse my tongue twister, but it's a great thing to see just because it's a young guy that we can get out of G League, and it's another contract we can get rid of with Dwayne Dedmon. So I'm really hoping that things work out and Eric Spoelstra and the coaching staff can go ahead and make useful of Orlando Robinson, and especially Jamal Cain when he comes in and needs we need his help with Caleb Martin being out. But Caleb Martin will show and the Heat finish off with a 3-1 home record. You know, it's looking really, really good. We're in the 7th spot right now. We're dangerous loomers to go ahead and stretch up into maybe the 5 seed if we're lucky, but it's going to be a little bit tough situation with the Knicks and also with the Pacers. But moving forward, we do play the Atlanta Hawks on MLK Day at 3 p.m. So it's an early game on a Monday. Very, very awkward time and scheduling for the Miami Heat. We had a 1 p.m. game on Saturday, and then we also have a 3 p.m. game on a Monday. So, you know, we're going to play wherever, whenever. But that's it for Heat and 5 reviews and recaps. This is your boy JFK. Sponsored by HoopSpaces that you can listen to every Monday through Friday starting at 10 a.m. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Go Heat.